Hello and welcome to week 13 of the Ray of Hope crochet along, and this week we're making the Y stitch. So this is another one of our triangular rays, and the Y stitch is a bit of an unusual stitch as you have to work around the post of the stitch you just made to make the Y. But it's an interesting one, and it's a really nice one that will add some unusual detail to any project. So how do we make it? Okay, so for this one we're going to use a 3.5mm hook, and you start with a foundation chain of 22. So we're making the first two rows as we have done all the other rays, so I skipped ahead to do those. So including the turning chain, your first row has 20 double crochet, and your second row you decrease down on both ends, so you go down to 18 stitches. So we're going to start with row 3. So turn and chain 1, and our first stitch is going to be the treble alternate turning chain. Okay, so make your alternate turning chain as you normally would into the side, so you've got the double crochet version. Now we're going to go through the side of that top part and add another part. So now we've got trebles. So you got 1, 2, 3. So we're stacking those single crochets on top of each other. Okay. So our next 5 stitches are going to be treble crochets. Okay. So yarn over twice, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Oops. Yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Okay. So treble. The next one. So the tighter you hold your yarn, you kind of have to pinch to stop it from. Oops. So if you pinch at the base there, it'll stop those top loops from becoming too big. Like that. So one more. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 5. Okay. So now we need to start our Y stitch. We're going to skip the next stitch and make a treble crochet. So skip there and treble into here. Okay. Then chain 1, and now we're going to make a double crochet around this post. So yarn over around the post of the treble you just made, which actually is pull the yarn down a little bit, and it'll help it be in the right place, and make your double as you normally would. So if you pull, see, the lower down you can get your double more like a Y it looks. So there we go. So my double crochet is now about halfway down the treble, and you can see how it's making that V at the top. So we're going to skip this next stitch. Okay, we're going to make another Y stitch. Okay, so yeah, we skip this stitch, we're going to skip the next stitch and then make another Y. So treble. No, get yarn over enough. Hang on a second. Right, try that again. Yarn over twice. You skip the stitch after the treble. You're going to skip the next stitch and treble into this one. And chain 1. Then yarn over, make a double around the treble and try and get the yarn low down on that post. You can pull it down afterwards, so if you don't get it low down it's not the end of the world. You just need to pull it. Oh dear, what on earth have I done there? I think my yarn's snagged. Let's try that again. Yarn over, around the post, and make the double. There we go, 2 Ys. So now we're going to skip the next stitch and we're going to make a treble in our last 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, got enough. So just treble crochet in each of the last 6 stitches of the row. So I've not put a huge number of Y stitches in this piece, just because it does make quite large holes. So if you want something that's lacy, then these do work up very well. One more. Two. Okay, and turn. So chain 1 and row 4, your first stitch is a single crochet. To there. And you're going to single crochet in each stitch across. When you get to your Ys, you're going to single crochet in the top of the double. You're going to single crochet in the chain 1 space, some more yarn, and single crochet into the top of the treble. Okay, so for every Y stitch there are 3 stitches on the top. So on top of the double, around the chain 1 space, and into the top of the treble. And all the way across. So you should have 18 single crochet in this row. So one on the top of the trebles, you've got 6 trebles on either side of your Ys, and you've got 3 stitches each in the top of each Y stitch. Okay, and then turn. So I think they look like a bit like little trees, really. Okay, so row 5. You turn, chain 1, and make the alternate turning chain in the first stitch. Okay, so it's just normal double crochet, this one. And we're going to double crochet in each stitch across. So we're still going to have 18 stitches. It's our next row that we're going to do the decrease. Get all these in. So almost at the end. And the last few stitches. And last one. Okay, so now we have a decrease row. So turn, chain 1, and make the alternate turning chain 2 together over the first 2 stitches. Go. We're decreasing down to 16 stitches in this row. And now just double crochet in each stitch across until you have 2 stitches left. and then your last 2 stitches will be a double crochet 2 together. And then in the next row we're going to be doing some more Y stitches. Okay, and last 2 stitches, double crochet 2 together. And turn. Okay, so on to row 7. Turn, chain 1, and in the first stitch I'm going to make the treble alternate turning chain. So we're doing another row of Y stitches in here. So we do double alternate turning chain into the side of the stitch again and add another lay there. Just pop the stitch marker in. Okay, so we're going to treble crochet in the next stitch. Yarn over. 3 lots of loops for trebles. And we're going to skip the next stitch, and then we're going to make a treble in here so we can make another Y stitch. So make your treble, then chain 1, and then double crochet around that post, and just bring your yarn down to the bottom of the post with the treble stitch and just make a normal double crochet. And there you've got your Y. So we skip the next stitch, skip that stitch, and we're going to treble into here. And we're going to treble crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop that from scratching, and 6. So then we're going to skip the next stitch and we're going to make another Y stitch. So make your treble, chain 1, and then double crochet around the post. And just try and keep that yarn down the bottom. You can move it back up again if it comes up too high. See, that's come up high. I actually need to move that down. There we go. Then we skip the next stitch and we're going to treble crochet in the last 2 stitches. Okay, oops, oh dear. There we go. And there's your row 7. Oops. Take that back up. There you go. Not scrunched up. Okay, so now we're going to turn, chain 1, and row 8 is a row of single crochet. And just single crochet in every stitch across. Remember, it's single crochet at the top of the double crochet and around the chain 1 and into the top of the treble. So every Y stitch will have 3 stitches into the top of it. And to the top of the Y. So on top of the double, around the chain 1 and into the top of the treble. And then 2 single crochet into there. Okay, so turn, chain 1, and we're on to row 9. So we're going to make the alternate turning chain, the double crochet version, and we're just going to do a row of double crochet for row 9. And just double crochet in every stitch across. So we have 16 stitches still. And our next row is our decrease row. And then we've got one more row of Y stitches left. Okay, and last one. There we go. So we turn, and row 10 is our decrease. So chain 1, make the alternate turning chain 2 together over your first 2 stitches. Okay, so we're decreasing down to 14 stitches in this row. Then double crochet in each stitch across until you reach your last 2 stitches. And over those last 2 stitches we're going to make a double crochet 2 together. Okay, and then row 11 we're going to make one more row of Y stitches. And one more, and now double crochet 2 together to finish that decrease. There you go. And turn. Chain 1, and in that first stitch we're going to make the treble alternate turning chain. So into the side once to make it double height, and then into the side of that one to make it a treble height. Go. So we're going to make 3 trebles. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Right, so we're going to skip the next stitch and we're going to do another Y stitch. So make your treble, chain 1 and double crochet around the post of your treble. Okay, and then we're going to go straight into another Y stitch. So skip the next 2 stitches and then make a treble. Chain 1 and double crochet around your post. So we skip the next stitch and then we're going to make a treble in the last 4 stitches. And treble into the last stitch. Go. Okay, and that's the end of row 11, and that's the last of our Y stitches. Okay, so row 12, going to chain 1, oops, sorry my hook's coming loose, and single crochet in that first stitch. And we're going to single crochet in each stitch across. So after this row we'll be going back to the double crochet to finish off our array. Just remember it's 3 stitches into the top of every Y, so into the top of the double crochet, around the chain 1 and into the top of the treble. Okay, so we're going to turn, chain 1 and make the alternate turning chain in the first stitch. Okay, so this is row 13, and no, that's only half of an alternate turning chain. There we go. Okay, and we're going to double crochet in every stitch in this row. So this is row 13. And it's just double crochet in every stitch. Row 14 is a decrease row, and from there on in we do the pattern the same as the other rays. So you decrease row 14, then you do 3 rows of double crochet in every stitch, decrease row, 3 rows double crochet, decrease row, all the way up. So for this piece your decrease rows from here on in are in rows 14, 18, 22, 26, 30, 34 and 38, and it gives you 39 rows in total. So I'm going to carry on with that, and I shall see you when I finish off this row. Okay, so I finished all the rows for the Y stitch, got to that nice point there. So there's 39 rows in total with 3 rows of Ys. I really do think these look like little trees. I think they're quite cute. So for your slip stitch border you're going to be using the 4mm hook, and into the side of each double crochet row you'll make 2 slip stitches. Into the side of every treble row you'll make 3 slip stitches, and to the side of every single crochet row you'll make 1 slip stitch. Across the bottom you'll make a slip stitch in every stitch, so you'll have 20 slip stitches across the bottom. Remember, with that point you want 2 slip stitches into one side, 1 slip stitch into the other, but every other row we follow that rule. So you'll have 78 slip stitches down one long side and 77 down the other. So I hope you enjoy that stitch, and I shall see you next week for week 14. Bye for now.